What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. This is for entertainment purposes only. So I want to go over my story a little bit, just a little bit before we get into the trading. Maybe inspire a few people, maybe not. Maybe lose a few subscribers, maybe gain a few. I don't know. But you know, if you look at this guy here, Mr. Liver King, and I know there's some people that hate him and some people that like him, and you know, some people will say, oh, he's taking steroids, and some people, like, who cares? Well, you know, if he's taking steroids or not. If you watch this guy, he's inspiring. He's inspiring. And I did some of these actual ancestral tenets today. I slept like a rock last night. You know, I ate like our ancestors. I had a bunch of protein and meat. You know, I worked out today. Connected to the earth. I went outside. I walked around in the grass, in the dirt with my bare feet for a few hours. I sat out in the sun. Absorbed a little vitamin D. And the cold shower's coming in a little bit. And the cold shower is ooh so nice. And fight, struggle, fight, and win. Hell yeah. And I actually feel really good after all that I did today. And the cold shower is just going to top it off. But I think there needs to be more stuff like this out there. You know what I mean? So, there's not a ton of trades that I really need to go over. So that's kind of, I wanted to, I am going to go over, I do have a few pending orders. But, you know, before the pandemic, literally right before the pandemic even started, I had less than a 500 for a credit score. I had 0 credit cards. I was sharing an apartment with a roommate that I couldn't, like, I couldn't stand, basically. Like, life was miserable. He had animals that just barked and drove me nuts. And, yeah, life was miserable. And I probably had like $1,500 to my name. Yeah, life was kind of shitty. And then the pandemic happened, and I'm like, you know what? I want to understand money. I want to look up money. I want to understand how money works. And what am I missing? And I never had a political party, ever. I didn't care. I didn't care. But the more and more I looked into money, I started to see things differently. I started seeing what the politicians were doing. I saw this and this and this. And once you look at things through that lens of money, you know, things look a little bit different. And yeah, I get the environment and all of that stuff. I do think we should do good things for the environment, but I think a lot of that is a big lie. I think we're being lied to. But this is my opinion. And there's, you know, it gets really tough at work because my boss is, I mean, super left, right? And I'm right. I'm not going to deny it. I'm right. And then you have people at work that they don't really know. They don't really know. They haven't really looked into this kind of stuff. But I've seen personally what this has done for me in 2 years. In 2 years, what it's done for me. And I'm trying to, like, you know, steer a few people. There's people that are older than me that don't know. You know, there's people younger than me. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's people older than me doing worse than me, and there's people younger than me that are doing better than me. It doesn't really matter about age, but, you know, I would like to at least grab a few and be like, hey, you know, it's working for me, so why don't you give it a shot? Follow the money, follow the charts. Because I actually, yeah, here's an example. Last week, a kid comes in and says, I heard Tesla's going bankrupt. Oh my god, Tesla's going bankrupt. Did you hear that? And I quickly pulled out my phone and looked at the chart and I said, it's bullshit. How do you know? Because charts don't lie. And neither does money. Tesla's not going bankrupt. And I was trying to explain, you know, before the pandemic, my life was, you know, it wasn't great. And the kid at work was like, yeah, I want to do the same thing. I want to like pay for a class or something and get financial education. I'm like, you don't need to pay for a class. It's out there on the internet for free. It's on YouTube. And those people have a financial incentive to give it to you for free, because if they get enough views, they'll get paid for the video. So you can go out and learn whatever you want to learn. It's out there. You just need to find it and go get it. That's all you need to do. Just go look it up. You can get financial education. And yeah, I did pay for a class for Forex a while ago, and I see that now I probably didn't need to pay for a class, but it was nice. It was nice because it was all kind of wrapped up and packaged in a nice bow for me, you know what I mean? It was like everything I needed right in that one place. That was one good aspect of it, I guess. But yeah, I started, you know, just looking at money, how money's created, you know, debt, you know, credit, all of that. I started looking to everything that had to do with money, and in 2 years, I've been able to get my own place, for one. No more roommates. Screw that shit. My credit score is 750 plus. I have credit cards. And my bank account is like 30x what it was. So I mean, I'm not rich. I'm not broke. You know, I could get fired tomorrow and I'll take a couple months off. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm good. I'm comfortable right now, which is good. And I mean, it's only been 2 years. And now we have this stuff. You know, we have the foreign exchange market. We can leverage our money 50x. We have the stock market. We have Bitcoin. I mean, there's so many things we can do here. And I know it's like, it's tough to even get started. You know what I mean? Like, even creating, you know, I'm trying to explain to the kid at work that you should at least start like a traditional IRA or something. You know what I mean? If you're paying taxes, just take that money and throw it in there, at least. Start a traditional IRA and throw the money in there, and then you don't have to pay the taxes, and then it can sit there and grow. And then, you know, it's better for both parties, you and the IRS, you know, because it'll grow in value and they'll get more money and you'll get more money. So, but I tried to explain these things, you know, and hopefully inspire a few people to even get started. Just open an account, figure it out. Like, it's honestly, the retirement account is just like a bank account. It's no harder than a bank account. You put money in there, and if you're not sure what stocks and stuff to buy, then get in mutual funds, because then there's someone else looking after your money for you. You know, just get into a lump sum mutual fund that has a whole like basket of different stocks in it, and you have an active manager sitting there buying and selling the stocks, and you're just riding in that pool, making some money. That's the easiest way to go, and that's where I started. But since have jumped out into individual stocks. But yeah, you got to get started. You got to put one foot in. You know what I mean? You get one foot in, the other foot will follow. But I see, you know, the kid at work's tone has changed dramatically when it comes to Trump, at least. You know, because he saw that, well, life wasn't so bad. Life wasn't so bad. And now things are very, very expensive. And he was like, well, you know, I'm grateful that I can still rent from my mom, because if I couldn't rent from my mom, I don't know what I would do right now. I'm like, yeah, see? You see, imagine what everyone else is going through. They cannot rent from their mom. And he's like, yeah, I see. I'm like, go get that financial education, man. And start investing. But anyways, that's just my story. Hopefully it gets better. It could. Or maybe it gets worse. I doubt it. But we'll see. But anyways, this week, I kind of fell back into my old ways. So Thursday afternoon, I shut it down. No more trades. No more trades for the week. You know, because I want this so bad. I want this so freaking bad that sometimes I start doing this and I start zooming in. And then things, all of a sudden, they seem volatile. Well, because you're too zoomed in. Dummy. And yeah, I took a few little losses. USD, Mexican peso, I waited for that first retracement. And I was in this. I was in this right here. Filled, pushed down. And I had a trailing stop right here, and then this little spike up here, and I remember I dragged my trailing stop back up again, but obviously the spread changed, and that must be how it got me. But it stopped me out, and it moved down again without me. So that was a big mistake with that trailing stop. So I'm not gonna do that again. So regardless, I want to make this a habit every Sunday. Sunday's the time to do it. Look at the date. Well, we don't have any new monthly candle actions, so I want to go pair by pair and look at the weekly candle action, see what we have. So I kind of already did that. I don't see any 382s, 236 pin bars. I do see a bearish engulfing on USD Mexican peso, and on the higher time frames, it kind of makes sense. Because yeah, I mean, big picture, it's bullish, but you know, it seems like this area rejected, then COVID happened and busted through, but it was short-lived, came back down, then rejected, right? And then we pushed below this trend line we've been following. It was kind of a small one here, came up for a test, false break, rejected, came back up for a second test, and it looks like now we're getting rejected again. And we have a bearish engulfing on the weekly, so I'm very interested in more downside here. So I do think this is probably going to retrace for a bit, you know, maybe a little bit. And it's kind of funny because we're having baby formula shortages and all kinds of shortages and weird stuff going on in the US, but over in Mexico, they've got all the baby formula you could ever want. Strange. Very strange. So their economy seems like it's doing pretty good. Interesting. So yeah, USD CAD. I mean USD Mexican peso. I'm game for some more short. So I'm gonna wait for this little retracement. Hopefully we get it. I'm gonna keep my stop loss up here for now, looking for further downside. We may even get like a retracement back up. I don't know. Yeah, because we have this weekly candle action. So let's see if we throw the Fibonacci. If we push the right button. Yeah, so that would be a 382. Ooh. That might actually be it. I think I'm gonna go with that. 382 retracement. Because you can see over here, that's respect right there. So let's, yeah, I want to see if this will come up, get me filled there for further downside. So that's what I'm going with there, and we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, I didn't see much. I did have GBP Swiss franc. I went for a reaction play. I like doing these once in a while, just kind of having an order sit at a big level and then get a reaction and get out. But I seem to have screwed it up. So this is a big level here, obviously. Wicks, you know, support, wicks, and it's the intersecting point between the support line and this trend line. So I sit in order right there, and price came down and filled right at 4:45 in the morning. And this is something I noticed. You know, the three different or four different you know, sessions that go on. At the end of every session, price always ends at support or resistance. It always kind of wiggles its way up or down into the nearest like support or resistance area and then stops. It parks itself there. And then it will just sit there for a minute until the next one opens, and then it moves. So I had an order that got filled at like 1:30 in the morning, and then I had this order that got filled at like 4:45, which that's like the end. Like 4:45, 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. That's like the end, and then we're going into a new session. That's what it seems like anyway. Yeah, 4 to 5. So it seems like yeah, that's the Sydney and Tokyo session ends, and London session is just picking up. So yeah, that seems to be a dead spot though. Right around 5 a.m. seems to be a little bit of a dead spot, you know? So if you have, from now on, if I have orders that are being triggered at like 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night, I'm going to wake up and probably exit that position. And I want them to be filled around 5 o'clock. Because this one, you know, got filled, and then I was on my ride to work, and this thing just launched and went straight up. And I put a trailing stop, and then I actually thought I saw something like it would come back down and then go back up even higher, but I was wrong, and I ended up taking a loss. So I had a small win and then a loss. So it was kind of a break even, whatever. And then EuroCAD, I did have a short position on this because I saw we had this little channel, and then we went for a test, rejected, came back up, and it started looking weak. So I threw in a short position there, and I was too zoomed in, and I got shook out. So it is what it is. But this looks like the best trade to me right here. For this coming week, as of right now, this looks like the best, and this is where I'm putting my risk, right here. You know, the euro looks like it's been starting to roll. And also, the Fed came out and said, if we need to reverse course immediately, we will. And it's like, really? Already? That would be interesting. So, that's good news. So if we throw on the indicator, and I know indicators are just a representation of what price is doing. No, you don't need indicators, but they kind of make, I don't know, it just kind of makes it easy to see things real quick. And it's nice to have an actual algorithm's point of view, because, you know, we got this swing, and then this swing, and it was still red. It was all still red. It was like, no, this is still down. And then we got this third one right here, and we have a strong buy signal on the daily. So whenever you get the strong buy signal, usually it'll kind of do its thing, retrace, and then another move. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. So we go to the 4 hour. This is kind of interesting too. This little line chart here, which is like order flow, right? This looks like a big chunk of buy orders here, and this looks like a big chunk of sell orders here. Solid line here, dotted line here. This dotted line was actually up here a few days ago, and it moved down. And actually, if we drag the Fibonacci out, swing low to swing high, that puts this order right between the 0.5 and 618 Fibonacci retracement level. Right in the golden pocket. So, that looks good. So I put down 40,000 units with my stop loss below the last swing low. So if I'm wrong, it's going to be a $450 loss. But if I'm right, and we even come back up just to this swing high, which I would hope that we're going higher, we could make almost 800 bucks. So we'll see. I mean, big picture, I mean, imagine if we get a nice little move like this. I'm thinking this is what's going to happen at least. At least come back up on the monthly to there. And if we're going to go down, then probably further downside from there. But I'm hoping for, like, this. To be honest, but we'll see. Yeah, we will see. And other than that, I have been starting to spend a little time looking into some other retirement type stocks that I can get into, because I do need to, at some point, maybe throw another 3K into the retirement portfolio, so for the next tax year. So yeah, I've been watching Mark Moss a bit. He's a pretty bright guy, and he was talking about commodities and the 10-year cycle, or they're calling it the super cycle now, because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger with these commodity cycles. So he's saying and thinking that basically commodities are under invested in right now, and this could be a good play going forward. But you know, and this was just kind of one company kind of threw out, you know, Star Peak Mining Limited. Not saying I'm going with this, but I just kind of, whenever I hear, you know, potential, maybe this, I kind of just throw it on the chart and track it for a bit. So, but yeah, anyways, that's it for this one. We'll see what happens this week. Yeah, I mean, I really don't see anything else out there, but if you guys see anything, or let me know what you're trading, that'd be great. Definitely let me know what you're trading. That'd be awesome. We can all kind of help each other here. So, but anyways, yeah, that's it. See you in the next one. Get after it. So this old bird wants to take our rights away, and just took a steaming dump on my desk. But we won't stand for it, will we, Nancy? No, no, no. Bad Nancy.